All right. It's 10:30. Just getting a couple things situated as always. But we ready to roll. We ready to roll. We are ready to roll. I am making sure that I'm live everywhere I need to be, which is Facebook, YouTube, and today again, we're going to be on Instagram. So man, I'm excited. I'm excited as always, man. It's another beautiful Wednesday. I'm just trying to make sure everything is popping up like it's supposed to be. There we go. We good there. And y'all know I'm about to hop over here, make sure we good there. You know what I'm saying? We good there. Beautiful. We good everywhere. Yo, so y'all know what today is. It's Wednesday, my favorite day of the week. We're gonna wait a couple minutes. Um, just let the algorithm do what it do. Hopefully it'll push this out to the people that we need to have it pushed out to. Yes, we're just gonna wait a couple minutes, give people an opportunity to hop on in here and turn that off. Hop on in here like always while I get my notes together. And yeah, we gonna keep it rocking and rolling. Man, I hope y'all had a blessed Wednesday. I'm sorry, a blessed week. Um, what's up? What's up, cuz? Good morning. Good morning. Glad you're in here today. Like I said, we gonna give a couple minutes just to let everybody get in, let the algorithm do what it do. Push this out for us. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, if y'all on, let me know you here just by saying good morning, whatever the case may be. It may be closer to afternoon for some of us. It's still morning over here, but yeah, we're gonna wait just a couple minutes, and then we're gonna get rolling. We're gonna get rolling because I don't want to, like we say in church, like I always say, belabor the time. So yeah, I hope y'all had a wonderful week, a blessed week. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get rolling. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. Listen, man, you already know it's Wednesday. Another Wednesday, another episode of Whole, Healed, and Healthy, where we talk about real life, and we talk about real life based on what the Word says, what the Bible says. We take those principles and stories and scripture, and we just use that and apply that to our lives to help us just to continue to navigate this thing that we call life. Because hey, let's keep it real. Sometimes this thing does get a little rocky, it gets a little crazy, but with each other, I know that we can make it. So, man, I'm excited about today. We had a blessed week, had a good week. I hope your week has been blessed thus far. What did I do this weekend? I don't even remember. I don't even remember what I did. Oh, what did I do this weekend? Couldn't even tell you. All right, couldn't even tell you. That's terrible. That's terrible. I know we went to church on Sunday. Man, we went to church on Sunday. Saturday, I think we just kicked it at the crib, at the house. Probably just got a much needed break. Like I said, we've been doing a lot of traveling, so just being able to sit home and relax has been amazing. That has been something that I think sometimes we take for granted. But yeah, like I think that's what I did this week. So that was about it. Yo, I'm super excited, man. We gonna hop right in. So I'm super excited about the website. Y'all know that I launched the website on last Wednesday. So shout out to anybody and everybody who has been coming through to take a look at it, clicking on everything. I truly appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Again, that website is www.wh2.org. And I just want to encourage you to go and check it out. On that website, again, you will be able to join in what we call the 5-day healing challenge, and the 5-day healing journey. And basically, all that is that it's just you taking your healing one day at a time. And the goal of that is just to help jumpstart healthy habits, just to jumpstart us, to get us into the habit of being able to talk about things that may have been bothering us, things that we may not have been able to process, and just to help us that to know that, hey, first of all, I'm not alone, and second of all, I'm okay where I'm at, and third of all, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, as we like to say. So if you get an opportunity, go to the website, go to my website, www.wh2.org. You can click on the healing journey. and then you get a series of emails. About 5 or 6 days worth of emails. That's it. After the 6th day, you won't get anything else from me unless you are subscribed to the email, unless you're subscribed to the website, like to the email, whatever, y'all know. Click here to subscribe to emails. And eventually my goal is to start to drop a monthly newsletter. Just hopefully have some resources that will help us. I have a few things that I'm working on, got to get with a few people just to present some other resources outside of what I do, because I am not a licensed therapist. I have no type of credentials to try and offer therapy or anything like that. I'm just a young man, young at heart, who decided to tell his story and decided to live out loud and decided to invite you all along on my healing journey and just share what I've learned, what I've experienced. And in that, when I've realized that we're all on a journey together, and there are so many of us who are dealing with so many things internally that we haven't dealt with. A lot of our stories are similar. We've dealt with a lot of same things, from church hurt to church trauma, just to, just how we've grown up. And my goal has always just been to share and to create a community and a safe space that we can all walk this thing out together. So if you get an opportunity, go to the website. I'm going to be doing a live later on this week, hopefully Friday night when I get out of work, talking a little bit more about the website and about my journey. I really want to dive into that and share about why, I really, really do this. I know I share a lot of it, but just to really just have something informal on a Friday night, just kick it with y'all and talk about my website, because I'm proud of that. That's something that, God gave me and just took it and ran with it. So I'm proud of that. But I really want to be able to just really talk about that and share some things on that. So hopefully Friday, we're going to do that after work. Outside of that, those are all the church announcements. Let's go ahead and get started. It's Wednesday, another episode of Whole, Healed, and Healthy. Last week, man, we had a good conversation going about building. And so like I shared with y'all last week, my goal now, not my goal, but just kind of shifting, like I really want to start to give us practical things that we can do to really like build upon. So we're not just always talking about like being hurt and just living in a space of hurt, but really taking what we're gathering and what we're talking about and what we're sharing, and really taking that, laying the foundation of, hey, this is how things were. This is what I've been through. This is what I've gone through. I've dealt with that. I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to create cycles for family members, if you have children, for your children, whatever. I don't want to create those generational cycles. So because of that, I'm building something totally new, something totally different from anything that you may have seen before, something that something that has not come previously in your life. So you're building something brand new. And we were talking about that last week, and I want to pick up on that because the conversation was really good. We kind of ended like in the middle. We didn't get to kind of finish that out, and I want to finish that out. But we're talking about, building, and we were I was sharing about Noah and how, God gave Noah instructions on to go build an ark, and Noah was building that ark in a time where there hadn't been any rain, in a time where there was no rain, there were no signs of rain, and he was building something that just seemed like outlandish. Like, why are you building an ark when there's no rain, when there's no rain around, there's nothing going on, there are no clouds in the sky, there has not been a sign of rain, there has not been anything that would even allow us to think that it's going to rain, but you're sitting here building this big giant boat. And I took that because it resonated with me, because I began to realize that, at the time, again, I shared, and that's why you check me on Friday, I'm going to really talk about it. But I was sharing, like, I was at a space where we were going to be doing some things in ministry, and God was giving me revelation on what to build. And what God was showing me to build, it just seemed like, man, there's nobody doing it. I don't have any help. I'm sharing my ideas, and my ideas are getting shot down. And for me, that's when God was like, just keep going. And so then from that, I didn't know that what God was giving me then was actually laying the foundation for what I'm doing now. I thought I was going to be doing something totally different, but it lands us here. So we were talking about that, right? And for a lot of us, God has called us, or we have a dream, we've had a vision to do something and to build something. And we came to the point of our building journey where we realized that it's about to get messy. It's about to get dirty. It's about to get dusty because we're at the point where now where we're not just talking about building, we're actually doing the work. And what we've come to understand is that when you start doing the work, that's when things start to get a little dirty. That's when things start to get dusty, fuzzy, dirty. And that's where we want to pick up where we left off. Pardon my dust, because I'm in a point of my journey where I'm going nonstop. What I'm doing, people may not understand it. They may not get it right now. And that's a part of your building journey. That's a part of your healing journey. Whatever it is that you are building, whatever it is that you've been called to do, there are times when people won't understand it. They won't get it because to them, it just looks like chaos. It's like, what are you doing? I see all this dust. I see all this dirt. I see all these tools. Come on. I see all these things that look like chaos. And you're over here just going, and people looking at you like you're crazy. And I'm like, you don't understand what I have to do. I have to do this because if I don't do this, then I'm not going to create the legacy. I'm not going to create the new norms that I know that I can have for my life, because we've been talking about healing is our portion. If we're talking about healing, then healing is our portion. That is a portion of my pie. And I talk to y'all about the pie, the analogy about how I talked about my leftovers. I need my leftovers. I'm going to protect them leftovers. I'm going to hide them. I'm going to guard them. I'm going to get my leftovers because that's my portion. And healing is your portion. So when you begin to heal and build, come on, when you start to build something, it gets messy. It gets dirty, because part of healing means that you have to take a look at parts of your life, parts of your journey that you don't necessarily want to look at. Now, I'm not pushing and rushing anybody to go ahead of their process, because I want you to move at the pace that's great for you. Everybody's pace is different. Everybody's journey looks different, but the goal is that you're moving at a pace that you're comfortable with. You're moving at a pace that is conducive, that is going to put you in a better place than where you are today. We talked about resting. We talked about pressing pause. We talked about all those things. But the most important thing is that you're moving, whether you're moving 10 meters a day, 10 miles a day, or whether you're moving 1 inch a day. The bottom line is that you're moving. But once you start moving, understand this. Once you start building, understand this. It's going to get messy. So in this episode, listen, I got my notes. I'm a stick to my notes so I can stay focused. In this episode, we're picking up right where we left off, and that was on point number 5. We're talking about the dust, right? The dirt, the mess that comes with building something, the mess that comes when we're building. And we're going to get a little bit deeper because what we're building, it just isn't a business. You know, we want to get deeper, right? So because what if the thing that you're building isn't a business? What if you're not building a platform? What if you're not doing a podcast? What if you're not doing anything that may seem touchable or tangible? But what if you're building your healing? What if healing is your arc? That is the premise of what I do. I talk about healing. We talk about healing, right? So what if healing is your arc? What if God has called you to heal the deepest parts of you that are then going to spill over and begin to heal people that are connected to you? What if God has called you to heal the inner parts of you that have been hurting since you were a child? And as you begin to heal those things, they're going to help to bring healing to your family. Come on, what if God has called you to do something that isn't necessarily tangible? When I say tangible, like something that you can't necessarily see right away. What if God has called you to really begin to go in and dig out those parts of us that we've buried? I remember being in prayer one time and really talking to God and praying. And I was just saying, God, like, dig out the things in me that I've buried. Dig out the things in me that I've covered for so long because I didn't want to deal with it, because I was afraid of it. I was afraid to deal with it. What's up, cuz? Good morning. Good morning. I'm glad to see you. You know, I can't see you. I'm glad to see you. And I seen that you was, I don't live in Jackson no more, but I seen you was in town. So I know y'all was down there getting it in, and I know y'all was having a good time. But what if what God called you to do isn't necessarily something that's tangible? Because I do believe that there are things that God has given us that he's called us to do, that the things that they're tangible and things that people can see right away. But what if you're healing, and what if God's called you to do is healing something that people can't see? What if you're healing something that you can't even see? I begin to deal with like my insecurities. I was very insecure, and even to this day, like I'm still insecure. What's up, broski, man? I'm so glad that I saw you. I'm gonna hit you up, bro. I ain't forgot about you. We definitely gonna connect. I have not forgot about you. So what if what God has called you to heal is something that's deep down inside? Man, I just really believe that we have so much to offer people. We have so much to give people. And I think that I feel like part of the reason why a lot of us don't move out in certain areas is because we're afraid. I suffer. I'm gonna tell you right now, I suffer with low self-esteem. I that's something that I've suffered with my entire life because, back in elementary, they bullied me because I was a little darker than everybody else. And so I put up, again, you heard me talk about me. I put up these masks, I put up these defense mechanisms, so that it would protect me. But as I begin to pray and really trust God and ask God, God, give me, dig out the deepest parts of me and like really help me, to focus on those areas that I've always covered. And I really begin to realize like I have no reason to fear, because the things about me that I don't like are the things about me that God wants to use, right? Like there are times when the things about me that I'm most insecure about, that I'm most guarded with, those are the areas in my life where God wants to use me the most. But what I've been learning is that in order to heal those areas, in order to heal those parts of me, I got to do the dirty work, right? I have to put in the work that nobody else sees, that nobody else wants to do. And that's where we're at in this episode. Come on. So let's dive in. So let's be honest. Let's keep it real. Like, healing is messy. Come on, man. Let's just be honest. Healing is messy. Growth is messy. Woo! Growing up, growth is messy. Growth is messy. Healing is messy. Come on. What you say about? He says, that's my favorite scripture. Search me, oh God, know my heart. Test me, try me in my anxieties, know my thoughts. That is one of my favorite scriptures. See if there is anything offensive in me. Come on, lead me. That basically what that says to me is that, God, I want you to go into my heart. I want you to search the deepest, the darkest parts of me and know me and try me in my anxieties. Come on. Try me in my anxieties. Search me, God. Let me know. I want to see me the way that God sees me. And the thing that I love about God is that when God sees even the most broken parts of me, he still sees me whole, healed, and healthy. Even when God looks at the most broken parts of me, the most broken parts of my heart, the most fragmented parts of my soul, he still sees me as complete. That's amazing. When God looks at the most broken parts of me, he sees me as complete. Man, and that's crazy that was your verse of the day, because that is one of my favorite scriptures of all time. I keep that in my heart. And when God looks at me, he still sees me as complete. He sees the broken parts of me. He sees the shattered parts of me. He sees the parts that I hide. He sees the parts that I highlight. But when he looks at me, he doesn't look at me as a broken individual. He looks at me whole. Because I know that God looks at me whole, I know that wholeness is my portion. Healthiness is my portion. Healing is my portion. And because the way that God sees me, I can see me that way. But when I look at me, sometimes I have to put in the work to make sure that when I look at me, that I'm looking at the complete version of me, right? Now, how do I do that? That means that I have to go in and I have to begin just to deal with those secret parts of my life that I don't want to talk about, that I don't want to deal with. I have to, the old saying that says that what happens in this house stays in this house, what goes on in this house stays in this house. And that's something that's been a tradition for a lot of families, for a lot of people. But I don't want to carry that tradition anymore. And so knowing that I don't want to carry that, I have to go in and begin to do the inner work, and the inner work is messy. Come on, let's be honest. Growth is messy. When God has called you to build something, it's gonna get dusty. It's gonna get messy. It's gonna be messy. It's going to get messy. I'm sorry, and we know that. We know that. I think we know that. So we know that growing up, as you grow in life, let's just take it like this: as you grow as a person, you go from an infant to a toddler to a young child. Like, there are stages in between. No, let's talk about going from a young child into adolescence as you begin to grow into a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that, because that's a messy part of life. When you're going from like a 11, 12-year-old going into those teenage years, your voice starts to get deep, and it may go get high for a little bit, and then it may get deep. You get these awkward cracks in your voice, and you begin to challenge things, and as you're growing, if you're a young man, you begin to challenge things, and that's a messy part of life, because your parents are trying to help you navigate life, trying to help you understand that you're coming into adolescence as a teenager, but they also have to realize that, hey, like, just because you're becoming a man, like, you still are my child. And so that's a messy part of life that we have to navigate as kids and as parents, because you don't want to stifle your child's growth, right? You don't want to cause them to not feel like they can't ask questions and not challenge things. But then you have to understand that, hey, some of that stuff that you're doing, like, you gotta stay in a child's place, because you are still a child. That's a messy part of life. That's a messy part of growing up. That's a part of life that gets messy when you're going from high school to college. There are things in between that get messy. But what I love about God is that he gives us the grace to navigate the messiest parts of our life, the dirtiest parts of our life. Come on. He gives us the grace. If you've gone through anything in life, if you just live life and you just wake up today, like, it's going to get dirty. It's going to get messy. You're going to come into a place and come into a space where somebody tries you. And that's what I talk about, the messy parts of life. Like, somebody tries. I'm not talking about being like, trying to be funny and stirring up trouble. But I'm talking about those gray areas of life where somebody tries you, somebody come at you, and they come at you sideways, and you have to make a choice. That's the dirty part, where you have to make a choice. Am I going to smile and brush this off, or am I going to clap back? And all in a span of 30, not even 30 seconds, all in a span of 2 seconds, you have to make a choice. Am I going to clap back, or am I going to just let this ride? That's the messy part. Sometimes the messy part is a big space, and sometimes it's just a small, because now if I got to realize, if I clap back, it's going to escalate here. If I don't clap back, then now you may look at me as like I'm weak. So those are the messy parts of life that I'm talking about, like, where you got to figure out, what am I going to do in this space? And I feel like in those areas, that's when God really gives us the grace. Come on, the grace to really navigate that space. God gives us the grace to go through that gracefully. And even if we make, per se, the wrong choice, God is always going to give us still the grace on how to correct it. He's going to give us the grace. So, hey, maybe you need to go back and apologize. Maybe you just need to go and sit this one out. Come on. So when I talk about grace, that's what that means, is that God is going to give us the space, the grace to make those choices. He's going to give us the space and the grace to make the mistakes. Come on, man. We act like, and we sit there and think that God just wants us to be perfect all the time, and we have to just be these vessels that are always on and just always, oh, I got to be perfect. No, God gives us grace, and he gives us space to grow. Growth is messy. Growth is dirty. Come on, growth is not always pretty, but God gives us the space. He gives us the grace to grow. So every builder knows that construction kicks up chaos before it creates beauty, right? From the moment you dig your foundation, everything gets dirty. So if you're building and creating something brand new, you know that you have to build a deep foundation. The moment that you start building, the moment it gets dirty. Because if you're building and you start moving dirt, you're going to create dirt. Concrete dust, drywall particles, sawdust, it's everywhere. It creates mess. Right? It creates mess, but mess is not always a bad thing. We look at the mess, but the messiness is not always a bad thing, because it's going to create something beautiful. But in that space, come on, that's the space that God gives us to grow. I want us to understand and know that in the dirtiest parts of your life, God is still with you. And in the dirtiest parts of your life, I feel like that's the space that God gives us to grow. He's allowing us to go in. He's allowing us to make mistakes. He's allowing us to figure it out, because I just don't feel like, I know for me, I don't think that God, I know that God just God, I'm not a robot. Come on, I'm not a robot. I am not a robot. All right, let me say it like this. I'm not a robot. God understands that I'm not a robot. God understands that I am not always going to do the best thing or the right thing all the time. So with that comes the grace and the space that God gives us to grow. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and just keep making mistakes and keep doing things wrong. But when you are genuinely trying to move forward and you are genuinely trying to be a better person, you are not always going to get it right. Man, let's be real. You're not always going to get that thing right. So because of that, that's the grace that comes in. That's the grace that covers. And that's the space that God gives us to grow and discover who we are. What you say, growth is one of the most difficult yet beautiful parts of life. Exactly. Growth is difficult, but it's beautiful. And I liken it again to like to women when they have children. It's difficult. I ain't never had a child. And I love the ladies in my life who have had children, because that is the most beautiful thing that you can do, is give life. But that thing is painful. That thing is messy. It hurts. It hurts like Hades. It hurts. I know it hurts because I was in there when Randy gave birth. But after all the pain, after all of that mess, comes this beautiful child that you just have no choice but to love. And that is a part of life. That's a part of growth, that in those moments where it hurts, in those moments where it just feels like you can't go on, that's when God is just saying, if you push a little bit harder, that what you're about to give birth to is going to be so beautiful. That is a part of the growth process. That is a part of the healing process. That is a part of the building process. Whether you're building a business, whether you're building new norms, whether you're working, when you start working out. Oh my God, I've started working out. I've started my workout journey at least 100 times over the past 2 years. And you start out and you work out and you don't see progress. You go on and you're eating healthy. And if y'all like me, I eat a salad and think I'm supposed to drop 20 pounds. Like, I ate this salad. Hey, I need to be out here beach body ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to be out here in my hoochie daddy shorts after I ate this one salad. But what we understand is that growth, it takes time. So as you begin to work out, you're not going to see the results and the gains and the weight loss overnight. But if you take a picture of yourself today, and then you take a picture of yourself and maybe at the end of the month, you'll start to notice that, hey, like, you can see some physical results. But one of the biggest things that you notice that you can't see is that the way your clothes start to fit, right? Your clothes may get they start to get a little baggy, right? We're talking about growing. We're talking about mess. We're talking about reconstruction. Come on, we just said grow pains. Some cocoons never get to the butterfly as designed. Man, you on point. They're too scared to break out of what they know and die because they're too big for you are on point. You are on point. You are on point. What'd you say, Jalise? When the struggle of consistently working out, I do 10 squats and think, I'm telling you. So we think that we eat a salad. I eat a salad, one salad, and I'm like, yo, I need to be dropping 20 pounds. But it doesn't work that way. Consistency is what gets us results. And it's the same thing in anything. That's the whole point, is that if we can learn consistency, even when it hurts, we're going to see the result. We're going to see results. I remember I was working out consistently. I was going and I was really dropping. I was dropping it. Man, my clothes were baggy. I could see it. And then we went on vacation. And I came back and it's like one day of bad eating, it like messes us up. But the point is this, is that even in the one day of bad eating, it did not erase the 5 months of work I had put in. Yeah, I felt it for the maybe 1 or 2 days of poor eating. But after maybe 2 or 3 days after that food got out of my system, I was back to who I was. I was back to seeing the results that I had put in for the past 5 months. So what am I saying? In your growth process, whatever you're building, some of us have gotten married. Some of us just got married. Some of us may have gotten out of toxic relationships. Some of us may be dealing with death and grief. Come on, some of us may be trying to build a business. Some of us may be in transition to a new job. Wherever you're at in your journey, come on, understand this. Consistency is the key. Even when it's dirty and messy, consistency is the key. If you stay consistent, I promise you, you will see the results. Now, if I would have stayed consistent over a year, I guarantee you I would have hit my weight loss goal. But because I didn't stay consistent enough, that this is what I did when I had those days, one day of bad eating turned into 2 days of bad eating, which then turned into a week. And now I'm back to poor habits. So it takes time. You're going to start. You're going to stop. You're going to start. You're going to stop. That is the beauty of the journey, right? And in those starting and stopping moments, I just want to encourage us to not be discouraged because it gets dirty. It gets messy. Come on, man. It gets hard. It gets hard. But if we stay consistent, we're going to see the results. So understand this. Like I said, my bad. I don't mean to step on y'all toes. My fault. But that's something that I do. I start a weight loss journey. I done tried every diet. I done tried every fad. I'm trying to drop it tonight. And the only way that I'm going to see real results is if I do something that I can stick to, something that works for me. It's not cookie cutter. Come on. And I'm talking about, now I'm talking about working out, but understand the concept that my process, your process, whatever it is that you go through is not a cookie cutter. It's designed specifically for you because my body type and my metabolism is not the same as yours. So what I do in the gym may not work for you. Same thing as for what you in the gym may not work for me. But if we work out together while we may be doing different programs, but we're working out together to keep one another encouraged. So your healing journey, your building journey, again, is not the same as mine, but it works for you because it is designed for you, because whatever God has for you is for you. We take principles. Come on, we hear each other's story. We get encouraged, but understand this, that what I do and what you do are going to be two totally different things, but because God like the scripture says, God knows everything about us. God gives us the design specifically made for us, right? So now, because I have my design specifically made for me, when I'm ready to go to the gym, hey, you want to go to the gym with me? Yeah. Well, I'm going to be over here on the treadmill and you might be on a stair lifter. We're in the same building doing two separate things, pushing towards the same goal. So often we think that we got to do the same thing to get the same result. But my result that I'm looking for is not the result that you're looking for, right? My result is totally different from yours. But the point is that together, the encouragement comes is that we know that we can continue to move. We know that we can continue to move forward. We know that we can continue to do this thing. So we got to kind of sidetrack, but let's get back on task. Let's get back on point. So, and people, listen, this is something else that we learned. People looking from the outside in, they don't see what's going on. People on the outside, they don't necessarily understand. They don't see what's being formed. They just see fog. Come on, what's up, Twan? What's up, broski? Yes, sir. What you say, Jaleesa? We all want success, but our paths don't have to be the same to get there. Bingo. And that's the bottom line, is that we all want success. And I tell you this, surround yourself with people who also want success. You can't if I'm going to the gym, I can't surround myself by people who going to keep eating crumble cookies every day, because crumble is my weakness. That's one of my weaknesses when it comes to food. I'm not a big sweets fan, but I love cookies. If you show up in my house with some chocolate chip cookies, I promise you, I'm letting you in and I'm opening the door and you can stay as long as you want. But understand this, is that if I want to see results, if I have a goal in mind, a destination in mind, that I have to surround myself with like-minded people. We may not be all going to the same place, but we're all moving the same direction. That's what we got to understand, that I may be building whole, healed, and healthy. And you may be building whatever you're building, but I know that if I can encourage you and you can encourage me, then that we can accomplish our goals, right? We can accomplish the thing that we set out to do. So people looking from the outside in, they don't see what you're forming. They just see dust. They just see dirtiness. They just see fog. They just see that you're just creating all this chaos, right? They see you pulling away. They see you. They see your silence. They see the boundaries, and they think you're acting. They think we acting brand new. But really, I'm in build mode. I'm in grind mode. Man, this is good to me because oftentimes we talk about it. I talk about it. Oftentimes that when you start to make changes in your life, when you start to do things totally different, when you start to move differently, people see that. And the first thing they think is that you acting brand new, you acting funny style. And it's amazing because I went to church on Sunday, right? I dropped off Avery and I went to church on Sunday and Pastor Corey Pryor, he preached. I'm like, bruh, have you been in my prayer closet? Have you been in my notes on my phone? Because he preached a message called he dealt with healing. He dealt with wholeness. And I'm like, bro, like you really all in my business. And I'm saying it to say because he said the same thing on Sunday. He said that when you start to move differently, when you start to create new norms, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said when you start to do things that are conducive to making you a better person, people around you will tend to think that you're acting funny style. They tend to see, and sometimes people get irritated. And this is something that we learned, me and Randy learned back in like 2022. Like when people who are agitated by your freedom, come on, they were never your friends to begin with. When you start to move and become free and become a better person and people get agitated, they need deliverance. The bottom line, man, I'm telling you, they need deliverance. The bottom line, when people who are agitated by your freedom, when people who are agitated by the way that you're moving, especially when you're moving in a way that's making you a better person, and then people around you, you're affecting people around you, and that they're becoming better people. Come on, when people in your circle begin to get agitated and irritated and upset about the way that you're moving because the way that you're moving is no longer what you used to do, you go ahead. That's a sure sign that you don't need them in your life. We're talking about building, right? Because if I'm building something, I don't need anything in my life that's going to hold me down or become dead weight. And so one thing that I learned is that the moment that I start talking about freedom and finding Christ in a new way and finding God in a way that was working for me in a way that looked nothing like what I came from, when I started talking about how some of the stuff that I learned in church and some of the stuff that I was a part of was really control and manipulation and it wasn't conducive to anybody's growth, man, I had people start talking greasy. You know what I'm saying? They start talking crazy. And I'm like, why are you agitated and irritated by the fact that I found freedom? Come on, that's something that you got to take a look at. Do inventory. I talked about as you walk in your journey, and you got to take a look back at what you've healed from, and then you got to take a quick inventory. Start to notice the people around you. If the people around you are irritated and they start acting funny towards you, then that's a sign that, you know what? We're not on the same path, and I don't think that we need to be walking together. You go your way, I go my way. It ain't personal. It ain't no love lost. But you know what? I gotta keep doing what I gotta do because I'm tired of how I've been. What you say, man? They acting brand new. If I didn't get something, if you didn't get some of that, hey, I'm telling you, we've all experienced it. We've all experienced that. You start to find God and you start to find a new mindset. You start to find things that are conducive for you, that help you grow, that add to your life, that add value to your life. You start to find freedom. You'll be surprised how many people get irritated by that. That's your problem. That's your choice. That ain't me. And I'm not going to allow you to bring me back down. So talking about building and talking about, as we continue to build this arc that we have, whatever your arc may be, I really want you this week to find out what your arc is. What is the thing that you're building? What is the thing in your life? It could be one thing. It could be two things. It could be several things. But what is one thing in your life that you know that you're tasked to build? It doesn't have to be some gigantic thing. to others, but it's big to you. You know what I mean? So find something in your life that you know that you're tasked to build. Find something in your life that you know that you're moving towards, a goal, whatever it is, and keep pushing forward and put some real time and energy into that thing. Build up some dust around that. Kick up some dust. You know what I'm saying? Like, really put the work in. So again, people looking from the outside in, they don't know what's going on. But here's where I want us to shift our mindset. And I talked about this last week, that you are the CEO of your own life, right? You are the CEO. So because I'm the CEO, I'm responsible of overseeing every department in my life: my mental health, my emotional health, my spiritual health, my financial health, my physical health, my health and relationships. Come on. Every aspect, every area of my life, I'm responsible for. I'm the CEO. Nobody else but me. I'm the CEO. God tasked me to be the CEO of my life. You are the CEO of your life. You're responsible. And like any great CEO, you can't just sit in a boardroom and expect growth. Come on. We have to get in the trenches. And I mentioned this last week. And like I said, we're picking up from last week. We're going to finish this today, that you have to get down in those trenches. If you are the CEO of your own life, you have to get into the trenches and you got to get dirty. I need some water. I don't have coffee today. I'm going to get that after. You got to get dirty. You got to get your hands dirty. You are the CEO of your own life. Come on, somebody say that. I'm the CEO. I'm the CEO of my life. Not my mama, not my daddy. I'm the CEO of my life. And like any good CEO, you have to know what's going on at every step of your building process. Good leaders, real leaders, understand when it's time to go out and lead. There are times when real leaders have to say, you know what? I realize that this isn't going the way that it should be going. Let me get out of the seat and let me get my hands dirty. As the CEO of your life, you are responsible for your healing. I'm going to just tell you like it is. You're responsible. Nobody else is responsible for what you do with your life but yourself. We got to stop. This is something that, you know, and hear me when I say this. Yes, you are the CEO. You are the CEO. So hear me when I say this. I know that God is in control, right? I believe that. I'm coming to understand that in a much better way than I have before. Don't have time to dive into that and go into deep detail. But I understand that God is in control, and he knows and he sees. But what I also understand is that God is a God who gives us choice. The Bible says, choose ye this day whom you will serve. Yes, you are the CEO. So listen, with that being said, we understand that God is in control. But we also understand that God is a God who gives us the choice. Right? God does not make me choose him. And because God does not make me choose him, that means that I'm able to choose whoever I want, whatever I want to do. I'm in control. I make those choices, right? So knowing that, that means that when and I'm going somewhere, let me get to the point. So knowing that, I have to take responsibility and accountability for the things that happen in my life. Too long, we sit around, and when things go good, hear me. Y'all got to hear me. Hear what I'm finna say. I hope I don't lose y'all. When things go good, the first thing we say is, I give all glory to God. I give all glory to God. I do. I give all the glory to God. But I also understand that part of the reason why things went well was because I chose well. Right? Hear me out. Y'all I hope I don't lose y'all. Don't think that I'm saying that God is not in control and that I'm taking any credit from God, because I'm not. But what I understand is that the reason why I have the wife that I have is because I chose a good wife, right? I chose well. Now, because I chose well, I believe that God began to blow, or God began to blow a wind over my marriage because I made the right choice, right? I chose her. I chose to marry her. And because of that, God saw that it was good and he blessed it. Come on, man, walk with me. So if we take that, I chose well. I chose this job. I made this choice. I chose this car. I did the research and I made a good decision. In my good decision making, God decided to say, you know what? Now I'm going to bless you on top of the good choice you made. So I'm not taking anything away from God. But what I do understand is that I had a choice in the matter. We have to stop just leaving it all in God's hands and saying whatever will be, because that's not the way that it's designed. If you read the word, if you read scripture, all throughout scripture, God has always partnered with humanity to get his will done. Sometimes humanity made the right choice. Other times humanity did not make the right choice. The bottom line is that we have to take accountability. We have to take responsibility for the choices that we make. When things go bad, I can't just always say the devil is in the monitors, right? That's our saying, is the devil in the monitors. Woo! Our greatest gift from God is our free will to choose. Thank you, Twan. Yes, we getting it. I hope y'all getting it. So, with that being said, when things go wrong in my life, sometimes it's because I made a bad decision. It is not always the devil. God takes care of babies and fools. He wants us to develop great decision making on our own. Thank you. I'm so glad y'all walking with me and we catching it. Because there was a time when I just said, hey, whatever happens, God, it's up to you. And God is like, nah, bro, make a decision. Let's work within the thing that you choose. God is like, give me a space to work and I'll work within that space. But if I don't give God space to work, God is not going to work. God is a God of free will. He wants us to choose him. But if I don't choose him, he's not going to work in my space. God, we say the Holy Spirit is a gentleman. He won't force his will upon us. And I believe that wholeheartedly. So now that I'm really gaining a deeper understanding with that, I understand that I have to choose right. Come on, man. I have to choose right. As the CEO of my life, I have to make wise and smart decisions. How do I make wise and smart decisions? Well, let me tell you, through prayer, through wise counsel, through studying this word, through reading things outside of, I'm about to mess this up, by reading things outside of just the Bible. Come on, man. Like, I know you say that to some people and they think you the Bible. Yes, I believe the word, but I also understand that there are books and there's knowledge outside of just the Bible. So how do I make wise decisions? Is I pray. I trust the leading of the Holy Spirit. I trust my intuition as well. I think in the Bible, we can call that discernment. I trust my own discernment. I trust that I spend enough time with God that I have enough sense to make a smart decision, right? I also understand that God is only going to work within the space that I give him. I'm telling you, faith without works is dead. Exactly. So if I don't work my faith, it's going to die. It's just going to lay there dormant. We're talking about building. So in the building process, I believe and I know, I can speak for me. I know that God gives me the space to choose. And so based on what I choose, that's what God works in. If I make the wrong choice, God works with me to correct the choice that I made, right? When I make the right choice, then God begins to blow on that. So what am I saying? That yes, God is in control, but as the CEO of my life, I can't just leave it up to chance. I can't just leave certain things up to chance. I control my healing. Y'all, man, listen, I sat in church for years, right? Just hearing God's in control, God's in control, God's in control. And then when things didn't work out, oh, the devil's the monitors, the devil's in the monitors, the devil messed it up. No, the reason why your monitors are feeding back is because the person with the microphone keeps standing directly in front of the speaker. And now it's creating a feedback loop. If you step maybe 2 feet from in front of that speaker, the devil will get out of the monitor because there's no more feedback loop. Would you say that's grace? Exactly. When I don't choose correctly, that's part of grace. When I don't make the right decision, that's part of grace. But check this. When I make the right decision, that's still part of grace. See, oh my goodness. So when I make the wrong decision, if if the directions tell me, if I'm on MapQuest or on Google Maps, think about it like this. If you're on Google Maps and the Google Maps is telling you to take exit 183 in order to get to where you're going, if you don't take 183, the map will realize, oh, you're off path. You're not on the right direction. So what will the map do? The map will correct you and say the next exit is this. It may add 5 minutes to your journey, but you can still get to your destination. It may just take a little bit longer. Man, it's simple. So now that I know that, instead of exit 183, I'm going to take exit 1 whatever. So going to my house, and this is the thing, if you ever travel to my house and you get on 23, if you miss the exit for to get to our house, you will be driving for another maybe 8 minutes until the next exit. Me and Randy hate it. So don't come to my house. You don't have no gas, because if you miss the exit, you got to go to the next exit, which is maybe 2 or 3 miles down the road, hop back on, and then come all the way back down, right? So now instead of a journey that was going to take me 35 minutes, now that journey is going to take me 45 minutes. Why? Because I missed my exit. Just because I missed my exit don't mean that I'm not going to get to where I'm going. Just because I missed the exit don't mean I'm not going to get to my destination. That just means that I added extra time. Sometimes, oh man, see, thank you, Holy Spirit, because the thing that I love about God is that sometimes we need to miss the exit. God is a GPS. He gives us the keys to drive. You're absolutely right. Sometimes I need to miss the exit because sometimes I may need a little bit more time. See, when the thing that I love about this is that there's no blanket way. There's no cookie cutter way to get something done. Yes, we have blueprints. We have a foundation. Your foundation's got to be strong and solid, right? We talked about the foundation. And when you're building, you got to make sure that foundation, there are some steps that you cannot skip. Don't skip your foundational steps. But now that we're building the structure and we got the drywall up and the mess from the drywall, once you actually get into whatever you're building, now you have the opportunity to say, you know what? I want this on this wall. I want this in the kitchen. I want this TV over here. Come on. I want this couch like this. I'm going to do my basement like this. So because I have a solid foundation already built, now I'm able to I want to say I have a little bit more grace to make a few more mistakes, because the things that I'm doing now, they're not foundational, right? They're kind of aesthetic, pleasing to the eye. It's kind of pleasing to the eye. And if something isn't pleasing to the eye because it's not foundational, I don't have to start over and rip it down. I can just take it off the wall. I can just remove it off the wall, patch up the drywall holes that I left. Come on, again, building is going to be dirty. Building is going to be dusty. So now what I had wasn't aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I need to take that down. I'm going to make a little bit of mess by patching up the drywall, but it gives me the grace to make mistakes. That's what I love about this walk, this journey, healing, any journey that I'm in, because it's not cookie cutter. And whatever I need for the day, I'm going to get it. Whatever I need for the week, I'm going to get it. But I understand is that sometimes my journey, I may skip an exit because I need a little bit more time. I need a little bit more grace, right? I need a little bit more time to process that. So when I tell us not to rush certain things, don't rush it, right? Don't rush it. You're the CEO. You know, as the CEO, you should know what's going on. You should have an idea of what's going on. Listen, we spend a lot of time on that, but I hope y'all catching what I'm saying. So I don't want us to continue to blame the devil when things go bad. And I don't want us to always just say, oh, that was just God just did that. Yeah, there are things that God is just going to do. But if I make a wise decision, it's okay to say, good job, good choice, Mel. I know we don't want to hear that. I know certain people certain churches gonna kick me out. I'm all right. That's okay. I'll get kicked out. But I understand that I partner with God, right? I understand that. Adam, we can have a Bible study and walk it down from Adam to Jesus. It was a partnership. God partnered with man to accomplish his will on the earth. Because of that, I know that I have a part to play in my story. There are things that God will do supernaturally that I take no credit for. But there are also things that I know that I do that I'm going to take a little bit of credit for, right? Because I did it. I made a wise choice. It's not pride. It's not puffed up. It's just being real. It's like I'm going to give myself the recognition that I deserve because I deserve it. We built this house, right? We're talking metaphorically, your house, whatever your house is, you're building your house. You're to the point where it's time for you to make it look good. Come on, man. You picked out that couch. You picked out that paint color. You picked out that picture frame. You picked out, the layout of your kitchen. You picked out those cabinets. If it's ugly, it's on you because you picked it out. But if it's beautiful, it's on you because you picked it out. So it's the same way in life. Your choices that you make, all I'm trying to say is just be responsible. Take accountability. Don't always throw it off on the devil because I don't think the devil is doing all the stuff we say he's doing. Some of us just don't make wise choices. I'm guilty. I'll be the first person to raise my hand. I don't always make the smart choice, but it's not always the enemy. It's Mel. All right. I hope y'all catching that. Let's keep rolling because we about to keep rolling. So, as the CEO of your life, what's up, Bree? I'm glad that you are here. I'm so I can't see you, but I see you. I'm so churchy because I'm so used to being in church and seeing people in person. So I'll be saying that stuff. Y'all charge that to my heart, not my head. Just charge it to my head, not my heart. I just be saying I'm so glad to see it and we're like we're not in church. Like I'm just churchy. I love it though. So. Great leaders know when to roll up their sleeves. They know that progress doesn't happen from a distance. It happens in the dust. A wise builder stays close to the project. They know what phase they're in. They don't delegate their... Dude, I like that. I like this right here. They don't delegate their destiny. Bro, we churchy, bro. It's in us. But listen, a great CEO, a great builder, a great leader, anybody who's in charge of their life, I'm not going to delegate my destiny to you. Stop delegating your destiny to other people who don't care about you, people who don't have your best interest at heart. Don't delegate your destiny to anybody else. I'm not leaving my destiny up to chance any longer. Listen, I know that there are people who may be attached to something that I'm doing that are here to help us, that are here to help me build. But if you're not in my life, it doesn't negate or it doesn't deter me from my destiny. I'm not leaving my destiny. I'm not leaving my fate. I'm not leaving my future into the hands of anybody but me and the God that I serve. That's me. You do what you want to do. But me, I'm not going to allow anybody to dictate my destiny any longer. I'm building something. I'm building what I'm building. And because it's mine, I'm not going to allow anybody anywhere to delegate, to dictate, to steer me one way or another. If I fail because of me. If I fail, listen, this is what I've learned. I forget who I was talking to. It was a few years ago. It was a friend of mine. And I told him, it was a friend of mine. I told him, I said, if I strike out, I'm striking out on my own. I'm not going to strike out the way that anybody else wants me to do it because if I go down, I'm going down the way that I want to go down. I'm going down and I'm doing it my way. But when I succeed, I can say I succeeded because I made wise choices and I succeeded because God was with me. But if I go down, it just didn't work out. We have to be able to say, hey, you know what? That just didn't work out. It wasn't for me. It failed. Yep. Failures are part of life. Come on, we say that's good. Don't delegate your destiny to anybody. I'm not. Failures are a part of life. You're gonna win some. What do you say on Friday? You win some and you lose some, but you live to fight another day. That's the beauty of grace. It gives me the ability. It gives me the chance to fight another day. So I'm not leaving anything up to chance in my life any longer. Like I told y'all, like my goal is to help us move from just existing to thriving. and understanding that in order to move from just existing to thriving, that now it's time for us to start really putting in some work. It's time for us to take accountability for our lives. I'm not just saying I'm blaming, oh, the devil made me do it. No, the devil did not make me do that. I had some desires in my life and something that I wanted to do, so I did it. The devil didn't make me smoke weed. I wanted to go smoke weed one time, so I wouldn't smoke weed. It wasn't the devil, it was me. I saw other people doing it and it looked like it's something I want to try. So I tried it. The devil didn't make me smoke no weed when I smoked that weed. I did it. I did it. Come on, man. I took responsibility and I've never done it again because I thought my life was, I was going to die. I started hallucinating. Whatever it was, boy, I realized that that's not for me. But that was grace, God's grace. That he was with me and he was like, don't do it again, my boy, because this ain't the lifestyle for you. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the devil who told me to go smoke weed. I want to smoke weed, so I smoked it. All right, move right along. But what am I saying? I'm not gonna leave my life up to chance. I'm not gonna leave my life up to somebody who does not have my best interest at hand. That's why I tell you, if you're walking this thing out with God and walking it out with Christ, that's why I encourage you to understand and know who God is for you and not who God is for not who God is to your pastor. Because listen, and I take and good pastors understand what I'm saying. I take nothing away from pastors, but what I understand is that the pastor's walk is not my walk, because what that pastor is dealing with, I'm not dealing with that, and what I'm dealing with, that pastor's not dealing with. So I don't leave destiny in the hands of my pastor. I pray that I pray that we have pastors who love us, who have the best interest, who have our best interests, and because there are plenty of them out there, right? There are plenty out there, and they understand that it's not my job to delegate your destiny, but it is my job to help you discover your purpose so that you can reach your destiny. The devil getting blamed for everything. I saw this meme. I got this little meme in my phone, and it was like, oh, the devil made me do it. And the devil like, no, chief, that's all you. I'm on vacation. And he on a surfboard in the beach surfing. Like, no, bro, that's all you. I'm on vacation. You chose to do that. So as the CEO of my life, as a person who's in control of my destiny, I don't leave that to anybody. That's no longer up for chance. It's no longer up for debate. Like, you make the choice, right? So, come on, man. Let's keep it rolling. I begin so excited because I love this. But understand, I said, good pastors understand that they are there to help you. They are there to help shepherd your soul. They are there to give you spiritual guidance, spiritual counsel, but they are not there to tell you how to live your life. No one can tell you how to live your life. You choose how you choose to live your life. And the choices that you make we say, when we meet God, I have to answer for the choices that I made. And I ain't trying to get cynical and judgment and, all that. But it's just the truth of the matter is that the bottom line is that I am responsible for the choices that I make, and I have to choose what I want. I choose. God says, choose ye this day whom you will serve. He also says that you cannot serve two people. You can't serve God. You can't serve man. You have to choose. So with that being said, because God is pro-choice, I said it, because God is pro-choice, meaning that he gives me the option to choose, I make choices. All right, we spent enough time on that. I think we get it. My hat looked crooked, whatever. So, as we get ready to roll up out of here, come on, man. Understand this. So when people misunderstand you or they can't see what you're doing, just tell them this. Pardon my dust. I'm still building. When people can't understand it, when people, I've learned that there are some people who are just like they're just like their assignment is to misunderstand everything that you do. And to those people who don't want to take the time to understand, or who don't want to take the time to have conversation, who don't want to take the time to question, excuse me. Pardon my dust, man. I'm building something. That's all I can say to you. I'm building something. If you are committed to misunderstanding me, then I'm building something. Some people just committed to misunderstanding you. Some people are just committed to not knowing the new you. Everyone can't come for sure. Everybody is one of my man, bro. You must have been in my house this week, because another one of my favorite songs is a song by 2103 that says everybody can't go. And you just said everybody can't go with you. Everybody can go. They make it their job to miss. Some people are just, it's what they're born to do. I feel like I know a person like that. That no matter what I say, no matter what I do, this person just determined to make it something that it's not. And I'm like, man, all right, cool. You do what you want to do. But for me, I'm not going to spend a lot of time with you. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that with you. Hey, you know where I'm at. You know what I do. Every Wednesday, you can come check me out. If you got a problem, you can hit my line. We can talk about it. But there are some people who are committed to do that. There are some people who just who are just determined to misunderstand you, right? So we rolling up out of here. Some of us are building our mental health back. That's a big one. Some of us are building our self-esteem back. We're building trust back. We're even trying to build like our spiritual trust back so that we can even step foot into a church again. Like, it's so many layers and there's so many things that so many different people are going through that the bottom line is that whatever that you're building, understand that it's okay. No matter where you're at, that understand that it is okay no matter where you're at. You're building your mental health. We're rebuilding our self-trust. We're reconstructing our identity. Come on, man. It's dusty work. It's dirty work. But after, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Let's finish this up. All right. So, I understand that, and as my boy Macbeth just said, understand this is that you can't take everybody with you. Everybody can't go, and you can't save everybody. And you're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to save everybody, and that's okay. All right, maybe I'm not the one for you. That's fine. Maybe you find somebody else who has the capacity to give you what you need. That's okay. Don't take it personal. It ain't personal. It's just like, hey, like, I ain't for everybody and everybody ain't for me. All right, cool. Keep it moving. Like, these are things that I'm learning. Just growing, like, just walking through life, just learning this, like, and it ain't personal. Like, I don't take those things personal anymore. Like, whatever. So in Genesis, listen, we about to be done. Genesis, Noah he literally built a boat. We know that he built the ark. But what if your ark is metaphor? And I think that we understand that, like, our ark is something that's metaphorical. What if your ark is metaphorical? And I'm just getting through this because I want to be done. What if your ark is the internal safe space God is calling you to build? Your emotional well-being, your clarity, your obedience, your healing. Come on, something, your financial wealth, your financial health, you're building wealth for your family. Like I said, a safe mental space for you. Just whatever your ark is. Again, we established that from the beginning that the ark is metaphorical, right? You can't save your household from a flood if your foundation is cracked. And these are things that we've already hit on. You know what I mean? So we understand that. So understand this is that your foundation has to continue to be strong. It has to be strong. Some of us are trying to invite people into our life who can't survive a flood because they were not meant to board my ark. Woo! The hardest part is letting close ones go. Man, y'all on it, man. Y'all on it. I got my boy Khan in the building. Yes, man, y'all on it today. The hardest part is letting close ones go. If I take them too high, they might die. Some birds have limits, and that's on me, my boy. Hey, you might as well go ahead and start the pie, my boy, because you on today. You are on. What'd you say, Confax? Even when you made it plain and clear, their intention to make chaos and justify their biases instead of wanting to understand. Man, y'all on it today. We on it today. Listen. The fact that you just said that, Macbeth, is what I'm about to say right here. Some of us, and I ain't gonna say some of y'all, I'm saying some of us are trying to invite people into our lives who can't survive the flood because they were never meant to board your ark. Protect what God is helping you build. I'm done trying to take people with me who were never meant to go with me. It ain't personal. It is not personal. But I'm done trying to take people with me who were never meant to go with me. Some of us are trying. Come on. We're inviting people into our ark. We're inviting people into our lives who can't survive the flood because they were never meant to board my ark. You were never meant to be a part of what I'm doing now. There are seasons of life when we have different people in our lives. I believe that there are people in your life who are lifers, who are going to be in your life no matter what, who are going to stay in your life because you need them. And there are people who are not lifers. They're seasonal. And those people are the people that we sometimes confuse the seasonal people with the lifers, because when the seasonal people come, they're so excited about our vision, about what we're doing. But in reality, like those seasonal people, they ain't there for forever. And a season can be, dog, a season ain't just short. Some seasons last for a long time. Some of us have had people in our lives for a very long time that unfortunately are no longer in our lives. They're just not here. They're not here. Friendships have ended, and those friendships will never come back. But there are lifers who are going to be with us for life. Some of us, it's like once you, okay, let me put it like this, and we're about to bounce. We say kind of, someone pretend to come, you just create holes in it. Listen and pretend. I be reading so fast, I think I can't read. Some will pretend to come with you just to create holes in your arc or your plan. Got to use that discernment. Exactly. Listen, we about to bounce. I'm about to bounce. Seasons turn into a career. Woo! We don't know when to let people go. I feel like, see, so when I talk about grace and when I talk about how God is in control and God knows all things, this is a prime example because of what Macbeth just said, what Jonathan just said, right? He said that seasons turn into a career. Because God is all knowing, God knows when it's time for us to let people go. Listen to this. And he'll give us the signs and the discernment. And he'll give us a way out so that that pain won't be as bad. But when we hold on to things a little bit longer than we should, and then things are allowed to happen to us, it's like God's like, man, you could have avoided all this pain had you just done X, Y, and Z. But because we're sometimes so stubborn and want to hold on to things and we don't let things go, now we inflict unnecessary pain. But because God is so great, and I'm not saying that God inflicts that pain, because I don't believe that. I don't believe in a God who intentionally inflicts pain to cause harm. Okay, listen to this. I just don't believe that God is gonna intentionally inflict pain in my life that's gonna cause me some type of detrimental harm. And I don't believe that God is gonna lead me to a place where He won't keep me or sustain me. Okay, so it's complex, but it's simple. So I don't believe that God will just intentionally inflict harm. I believe that God gives us signs and warnings that will allow us to avoid the harm. But if we don't follow the signs and the warnings and use that discernment, then now, because I stayed too long, it's all about accountability. And I'm not talking about something that I haven't walked through. I caused harm because I held on to something a little bit too long. And because I didn't let it go, that grip, it started to hurt my hands. And then because I would not let it go, it hurt me because I should have let it go sooner than what I did, right? So just understand that I don't believe that God intentionally causes harm and that God just intentionally inflicts all this pain that just causes us all this hurt. But what I do know is that if we find ourselves in situations or predicaments like that God is not too far away from us, that He is not going to bring us the comfort and the healing and the grace to get through it. Like we have to understand that, like that there are seasons that hurt. Life hurts. Life is gonna hurt, but just because life hurts, it doesn't mean that God is just causing all this hurt. Life, we have to understand, we have ups and downs. Like life comes and goes. We have ebbs and flows, but it's not that God is like, oh, I'm about to inflict all this harm on you. It's like, no, that's just part of life. Life hurts. Life is gonna hurt, but we have to continue to trust Him in that. But what am I saying is that sometimes we invite these people who don't belong. Sometimes we have lifelong friendships that we think are going to be lifelong, and you start building something and you start changing and you start creating something new, and you go back and try to get those people when no, leave them people where they at. They not meant to ride with you, because if they couldn't stand the storm, come on, you don't deserve to see me when the rainbow is out. If you couldn't ride with me on the storm, if you couldn't ride with me when I was building, if you couldn't stay on the boat when the storm came, then you don't deserve to be with me when the rainbows come. I've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. All right, let's bounce. We're done. All right. So understand this. We're done. We're done. And we're done. I don't even know what happened to my notes. We're done. There we go. All right, cool. I'm sorry. We're done. 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 So understand this. Understand this, that when the dust settles, this is what Genesis 7:11 says. We're done. We're done. Because we've been going. I think we're getting it. But okay, a couple more things, and then I'm done. I promise. I said, because you can't save everybody, right? Your arc might be leaving a toxic relationship. Your arc might be starting therapy. Your arc might be forgiving your parents, might be forgiving your friends. Your arc might be going back to school. Your arc just might be really just trying to get your relationship right with God, like whatever the case may be. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Always, always. So Noah just wasn't building wood and just using wood to build something. He was preparing for what hadn't come yet. And that's what healing is. It's a setup for your survival. It's God's way of saying, get ready for what's coming next. So we done, man. Understand this, that Genesis 7:11 says the foundations of the great deep were broken up and the windows of heaven were open. And that didn't happen until the ark was completed. I posted something when I said that some of us, God is waiting on us to do something. I feel like there are places in our lives where things haven't happened yet because we haven't finished building. No matter where you're at in your journey. Definitely. I got you. Yep. No matter where you're at in your journey, understand that it's not going to rain until you finish something, right? You don't have to finish everything. You don't have to get to the very end, but God didn't open up the deep, because you read the word, it says the earth opened up and fountains began to spring up and then it began to rain. That's how the earth was flooded. But what I'm saying is, because I'm saying that you've been building, you've been preparing, someone's been putting this off. And some of us are even exhausted, and some of us are just exhausted. But we're staying consistent, and your consistency is going to pay off. Here's what I want you to know, that rain is coming. And when it comes, it's not punishment. It's proof. Proof that your obedience wasn't wasted, and proof that God saw you. I want you to know, if you're still on here, I know we've been on here for a minute, that God sees you. He sees every step of the way. He sees every step of your process. He knows exactly where you're at. And what he wants you to know is that the rain is coming. What I want you to know is that the rain is coming. Noah built that ark, and I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure people was giving him the side eye and cutting their eyes at him like, why are you building something that we don't even have a reason for? We don't even need an ark. It hasn't rained in over 100 and some odd years, I believe. Like, so why are you doing this? And you're like, no, God gave me some instructions, so I'm going to do it. And if you're like Noah, you doing something, you building something, and people just looking at you, it's like, why am I doing this? Don't stop, because your rain is coming. It is going to rain. And when it rains, the rain is just the proof that you trusted and believed in what you were building. You trusted and believed that God was guiding you. And it's going to rain. Don't skip the dust. You can't skip the dust. You can't skip the dirty part and expect the floodgates to open. You can't skip the middle. On my website, I say we're navigating the messy middle, because it gets messy in the middle. The beginning is one thing and the end is one thing, but all that stuff in the middle, that's where it gets messy. And that's the part that we need help navigating, to understand that how I feel is okay. What I'm going through is not a result of my sin. It's not a result of some disobedience. It's not a result of some sin. No, sometimes life just happens to us. Sometimes we have to go through things. We have to, in order to learn. That's how you learn, experience. It's not a result of sin. It's not a result of curses. It's not a result of all these things that we like to put on it. Sometimes we have to take accountability for the poor choices that we've made and then learn from our choices, learn from what we've done, right? But I want you to understand this, that whatever you're building, your ark is whatever your ark is. Don't stop building. Keep building, because I know that your rain is coming. God is not going to give you the end result. He's not going to give you the rain until you can sustain the rain. God is not going to give you financial freedom until you can sustain being financially free, right? If I keep spending every dime I get, I'm always going to stay in a hole. I'm always going to stay in a rut. But the moment I say, you know what, I'm going to build me an arc of financial freedom. I'm going to pay off my debts. I'm going to start saving money. I'm going to start putting money aside. I'm going to get a savings, The moment I start building that, and it gets messy, it gets dirty in there, because I love to buy gadgets. You look around my studio, I got so many gadgets, and I love to buy gadgets. But I understood that God is not going to allow me to be in a better position financially until I take responsibility of my poor habits, right? And that's just like just an example, one of the many examples of things that I can talk about in my life. So the moment I started to make better habits is the moment that I begin to see that I actually have more money than I think I have. It's not a struggle. And that was my rain. I got a little drizzle. Like, okay, a little drizzle. But now that I'm seeing a little drizzle, I want an outpour. So what that outpour means that I have to do more work to continue to become more financially responsible. I want an outpour of healing. So that means I have to do more work to do the inner work and healing things that I'm always hiding. I want an outpour of love. That means I have to do more work to put in the work that helps me to love more. You know what I'm saying? I have to build these arcs. And an arc is not just one thing. I have to build arcs for the things that I want, the things that I need. So if you need to be healed, continue to put the work in. Don't shy away from it. Don't get discouraged because you had a rough day or something, rubbed you the wrong way. It's okay. It's okay. You're okay. That's the messy part. That's the middle. That's the part that we navigate together. That's the part where you say, dawg, like, man, I can't believe I popped off. You did. I popped off today too. All right, cool. Tomorrow's a better day. Whatever. Shoot, the next moment is a better day because you can pop off and still get blood. Like it ain't no God is taking task and has a check mark of every time you did something wrong. No, that's what grace is for. That's what grace is for, to help us navigate this middle, to help us navigate this messy middle. So I love y'all, man. I mean that. So don't, if you take anything away from me, because I got to go. I know it's time to go. Don't leave your destiny to anybody but yourself. You're the CEO. If you want to take nothing else away, take this away, that you are the CEO of your life and that you cannot delegate your destiny. I cannot delegate authority away. I cannot throw my destiny away to anybody. I'm in control of that. I take accountability. I take responsibility, and I'm moving forward, and I'm going to make some better choices. You have the grace to build, even if it's slow, even if it's lonely, even if you don't see rain clouds, you have the grace to build. And when the dust settles, you'll see the arc. You'll see why it had to take this long, why it had to feel this hard, and why it had to be you. Because whatever God gave you is only for you. Nobody else can do what God gave me, and I don't expect you to. And I'm not going to try to do what God told you to do, because I can't. God has graced you to do it. God graced me to do certain things, and he's graced you to do it. So if this blessed you, man, I hope you shared. I know we went on a little long. I told you I'll be getting excited. I love this. There are just a few things in life that I miss, and one thing that I miss here. Oh, look at that. My wife is on here at the end. I don't know how long she's been watching, but she at the end. It gets messy in the middle. Exactly. All right, I got to go. Thank you, Bree. You are the CEO of your life, and you are in control of that thing, and you dictate how that thing goes. Even when it doesn't feel like it's moving forward, I want to encourage you and let you know that you are moving forward. And God's got great things for you. You already know how we feel about you. You know we love you. And we always here. I love all y'all. But man, you're the CEO and you are in control of your life. So I love y'all, man. My phone is ringing. I'm like sidetracked. I gotta go to. It's 11:53. I love y'all. If this blessed you, share it, like it, all that good stuff. Next week, I think we got one more episode, and then I'm gonna take a couple of weeks off to get started for season 2. But I'm excited about season 2, because I know it's just gonna help us to build on what we have and to really take control and have some accountability on the things that we can control and the things that we can't. We just leave it up to God, man. So I love y'all. You're not behind, you're prepared. Pardon my dust, because my arc is almost ready. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.